Hello everyone and welcome back to UE5 BP Guru. We're back with the members series for the Pokemon multiplayer tutorial series. We finished off with the Pokemon Defeated code where we're about halfway through the foundation of that code. We're going to carry on with that. So let's head over to the battle proxy. And we're going to finish this off. So basically, the way we did it before was we got the Pokemon team we were defeating, found the defeated Pokemon, said it was defeated, and then we destroyed that actor. We calculated the XP for the other team. So again, if it was a player attacking, they would be getting XP, or if it was the host attacking, the host would be getting XP, so the enemy team. And then we checked to see if that team we defeated had another usable Pokemon. And if it did, we spawned it. If it didn't, we're going to end the battle. So first off, we're going to finish off the ending the battle code, which is not much left to do on that. All we've got to do is get the third-person character reference, pull out and check if it is host. So get if it's the host, and we'll do a branch check just to check that it is. There we go. And the last thing we need to do is we're going to get this third-person character reference again, and we're going to say battle end. So this kind of brings back that little bit of code we set up right at the very beginning to end the battle. And again, depending on if we are the enemy or not, we are going to plug in this here, and we're going to say enemy team or player team. So again, if we are the host, we are the player. If we are not the host, we're the joiner, which also means we're the enemy team. So that's why we do this, if you're wondering. And then we've just got this lovely long string bit here to finish off. The first thing, I don't know why I didn't do this actually at the end of the last episode, to be honest, but once we've displayed that text, we're going to do a delay, and we're going to take our 3 here and plug those in, and we're going to set that to hidden. Once we've done that, we just want to set the camera back to the, so we're going to take our camera switch, and we're going to take that back here and set this to the I think we set it to the party camera for now, but again, I think the way we're doing this is missing some opportunities here. I believe what we need to do is check if the player is attacking or not, because if the player is attacking, we should actually be looking at the enemy camera. So I think we're going to do that now. We're going to just do a check here, just this check here. We're going to bring that down here and say, is the player attacking? If the player is attacking, we want it to switch to the enemy camera. This is the NPC, so we actually want to set this to the NPC camera. And if the player is not attacking, then we can set it to the player thing, because this is what the part where the player chooses another Pokemon from their team. We won't be able to test this code out until we've got a couple of Pokemon in the party, but we want to change it depending on who's spawning another one. If it's a wild encounter and the wild encounter takes one of your Pokemon out, it's always going to run through this code. So it'll switch to the player camera, say I choose you, and then we'll come down here to do something very similar. So we're going to take this again. You'll probably ask, why are we doing this twice? It's to save repeating this code twice, because if I left it on 2 branches, we'd have to duplicate this twice so that it always hits this code. Whereas just putting the same branch check down here just allows me to not have to do that. So we can do that and do that. And again, if the player is attacking, we want it to be the enemy camera. And if the enemy is attacking, we want it to be the party camera. and then that should sort that out. I'm just going to check to see if we've made this function before. We have not. So we're going to go spawn next Pokemon. And what we need for that to have at the moment is just, we're going to just have it to be a Pokemon party info, but it's just going to be the one, doesn't need to be an array, and then we just want it to be spawning Pokemon. Okay, back to the event graph. We'll plug that in for now. We'll come back and fill in all the functions shortly. So once that's done, we can finish off basically the move now. So spawn next Ringmon, we want to get the battle widget. So where is it? We're going to get our battle widget reference. There it is. And we're going to set is move active to false. We're also going to, thinking about this actually, the way I'm doing this, sorry, give me a second. We do exactly the same thing here. So actually, what we can do is just, instead of doing all of that unnecessary code, we can just do end turn. Because something's died, so because a Ringmon's or a Pokemon's died, we know we can just end the turn. Because the new one spawned, everyone's going to make move checks. It doesn't matter who's done what move. We're just going to basically set everything back to end turn and set them back to the choice. Now, the last thing we need to do just here, though, is we want to get this usable Ringmon. So let's add in a couple of reroute nodes. And we're just going to drag this all the way into here so that we know that that's the one that's going to get spawned eventually. So that kind of is the main crux of the code. We have a bunch of stuff we need to work out as well. So we'll keep going. So the next one we're going to sort out is we're going to check for a usable Pokemon. So we want to create a couple of variables. I'm going to default a couple of these to its own category. So we'll call this one Defeated. And I'm sure we did. Do we have an attacking one? So that can go into attacking. We're just going to do a little bit of tidying up. That can go into attacking as well. Ringmon healed. That's an attacking one. All of these are pretty much attacking ones. I will tidy this up. That one needs to go into like party, for example, player variables. There we go. And anything with E typically goes into enemy, and anything with P goes into player. Player has chosen, that can go into player. It's just so that when it comes down to the end of it, we can find everything we need. If ever we need to change anything, or it's good just to have things tidy. Because look, if I shut these off now, it just looks a million times better. That can go into defeated. Player can't move. That could probably go into attacking. Player attacking should definitely be going into attacking. So you can already see it just looks a million times better. Basically, we need to create a couple of variables. We need to have a Boolean that says Ringmon found. That can go into defeated because it's part of our defeated code. We're going to drag that out and we're going to set that to nothing. We don't want it to set to anything. Because every time we run this code, we want this to start off false so that when it runs through the loop, it can either turn true or stay false. But we have to have it start in the false position. If it starts in the true position, it doesn't matter if it runs through and finds nothing, it will remain true. So we have to clear that. And the other thing we need to do is we need to create another Boolean. And this one is going to be of type Pokemon info. And we'll call this spawning Ringmon. And again, we want to clear that just in case. So we keep those two cleared up. Then the team that's coming in, we're going to run that through a for each loop. We don't need a break this time. We just need it to have the for each loop. And we can comment this off, reroute this off, sorry, so that it stays nice and neat. From this array element, we need to break it, and we need to get the final stats. So clear all those off, get the final stats, and then break that again. And the only thing we need is HP. And we're going to just check to see if it is equal or greater, greater or equal to 1. If it's got 1 or more health, it's got half the battle. So if that comes back true, we can set that as our spawning Ringmon. So that's true. Plug this in again, reroute it just so it looks nice and neat. There we go. And then what we do is we will say is P attacking? And if it is, we want to set that as our we want to set that as our current enemy index if it's true. And if it's false, we want to set that as our player index. Okay, set current player index. And just before that, actually, what we want to do is we want to also set, if that comes back true, we want to set Ringmon found to true. So set that up there and set that to true. And we just then need to plug in this array index. So bring this all the way along and try and keep it as neat as you can, but just plug that in like that. So it actually turned out pretty neat. So yeah, if it's true, we want to set it as the current index, enemy index. If it's false, we want to set that as the current player index because that denotes who died. And then we can come down here and say, okay, branch, like so. And then we just want to say, was Ringmon found? If it's true, we'll say all party dead. I put Ringmon in, didn't I? I wasn't thinking. I was running on autopilot there as if I was making my own game. I'll change those variables now. But so if it comes back that a Ringmon was found, we can set that to false. If it's true, we got set that to true. And then we need the return node now down here. And it doesn't matter if something comes back true or false. We can literally just plug in that spawning. I called it Ringmon, but it should be Pokemon. We'll change that up now. Pokemon. Pokemon found. There we go. That makes way more sense. So, what's happening here is basically we're basically defaulting us back to blanks. For each loop, we run through the team. We say, does any of these team have over 1 health? The minute it finds the first one that has over health, it says true. And we set that to our spawning Ringmon and our Pokemon found. Spawning Pokemon found. And then we say, okay, branch, check, current index, blah, blah, blah. Now, I just realized something that will happen, though. You may have noticed this as well. Without the break, what will happen is it's going to run through every one of these no matter what. It's going to run through all 6 until it completes. But the problem is that if I say my first Pokemon in my team is Bulbasaur and the second one's Pidgey and the next one's Caterpie and etc. so on until you got full 6, it's going to ignore, even if like your first one died, it's going to run through this for all 5 and then it's going to take the last one. So you'll actually always spawn the last Pokemon in your team that has health. So we need to actually change this to a break so that if we find something, it stops. So what we'll do is we'll do a for each loop with a break. And we'll plug this into the execution pin. And we'll just take everything out and plug it directly in. That way we can't have any mistakes. And then we'll delete that one out and we'll just bring it up to exactly where it should be. There we go. And so for the break, we'll just plug these two in. So if ever it comes back like this, we can just say, okay, it's fine. And that one can go in there as well. So yeah, if we ever find anything with overhealth, we'll do all this checks. And no matter what happens, it will always return back to this now and then break it and run down here. But if it never finds anything, it will complete and Ringmon fan will always be false, which Ringmon fan will be false. So all party will always be dead. That's a little bit more efficient, I think, in my opinion. As I say, otherwise you'll have ended up with whatever's in your last spot to spawn. So that's working. And I think we should have enough time to finish off defeating Ringmons today. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to spawn next Ringmon. So we go down here, all the way down here. It's like the last thing we do. We're going to spawn that new Ringmon. So again, the first thing we need to check at this point in time is whether the player is attacking. So we'll get P attacking. Let's go downward first. So what we want to do is it's very similar to spawning normally, to be honest. If I'm honest, actually, we could probably take a lot of this code directly out. So let's grab those two things and that, because we'll need the branch as well, like so. We'll also need the data table information, and we'll also need the get all actors. So we'll take those three things and we can plug them in. Don't worry, I will go through them. I'm not going to just copy and paste my code and not explain what's going on, so don't worry. So is player attacking? We say that's true. We're going to spawn an enemy Pokemon. We're going to do a get here. Get a copy. We're going to get the get actor rotation and get actor location. This should be very similar to what we did before. The only thing is we're not having to run through the for each loop because we already know what we want to spawn. And this can also go into here and into here. That's bugging me. The rotation's on the top there. Okay, so what we need to know is this. So let's break this. Break that spawning Pokemon. What we need to know is its name and if it's shiny. So name and shiny. And what we're going to do is plug the name into our data table so we can actually get that information that we want. And we're also going to plug in if it's shiny. These reroute nodes are real messy. So I'm going to just tidy them up a little bit. I'm going to have this come down under here, I think. Like so, just so we can. That looks a little bit less messy in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe it is still messy. I'm not sure, but it's fine. I haven't got time for worrying about that. So what did we do here? So is player attacking? True. So we know we're going to spawn an enemy. So we get the enemy spawn BP. So get all actors of that class because there's only ever going to be one. We're also going to break the information from our spawning Pokemon so we can get its name and if it's shiny. We then want to get a data table of Pokemon basic information to break it and get that class, the non-shiny and the shiny class. From our get all actors of class, we're getting the location and the rotation by doing a get of 0, because again, there's only ever going to be one, so we know where it is. And then from the shiny, we're checking if it's shiny. If it's shiny, we spawn the shiny one. If it's not shiny, we spawn the non-shiny one. And we can actually pretty much take exactly the same thing for the other one. The only difference we'll have to do is we're gonna have to change this to the non. We want the party spawn. No, let's just put in spawn and see what comes up. Player spawn BP. There we go. And plug that in. We can plug this in as well directly. I'm going to bring it down this way so it's not so all over the place. Okay, and then if we compile, we're going to get an error, which is this get. So we're just going to do a new get because they don't like you can't use the same get for multiple items. It has to have its own get of arrays. So that's why that error's out. Just delete it and get another get from the player spawn one. And everything else should be exactly the same. The only difference is this actually we need to change. So let's do party or player Pokemon. There we go. Grab this up, do a set, and plug this in here, and that will update that variable now, so that when if this one dies, we can basically destroy it. So yeah, so that should be all it is for this one as well. The spawn next Pokemon. And then it just ends the turn. And the only thing now we need to worry about for this code is the calculate XP. But I'm not too worried about that at this point because we don't have multiple Pokemon to defeat. We could test this though still and make sure that the game actually does end. So to do that, we'll just go over to the third person character. I am going to save everything so that in case this crashes, because it has a tendency to do that for me at the minute. So let's press play. Okay, I'm doing this in single player at the moment just because nothing will have changed for multiplayer. It's the same exact code. Let's head over and defeat the enemy, the wild Pokemon. Okay, so we got Charmander. We got Bulbasaur. We could lose this fight. I don't know. Who knows? Okay. I don't think he has any fire moves, actually thinking about it, so we should be fine. Attack missed. Ooh, darn, we missed an attack. God damn. What? Okay, fine. Why is that happening now? Interesting. That's not the first time that's happened to us. I just want to test that again. That's interesting that they just keep missing after that. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm doing something a bit weird there. Let's test it again and just see what happens. That's very weird. I will investigate that over the next couple of days. Because we did damage fine the first time. And he's done damage to me, that's great. Does tackle, that's good. Still doing damage, good. He does damage. Hey, there we go. And then that should class him as defeated. Oh, I know why it's not doing it. I know exactly why it's not doing it. Oh god, rookie mistake. Here we go. We need to actually call that function. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? So Ringmon. Did I call it Ringmon Defeated? No, I didn't. Pokemon Defeated. Yeah, I did call it the right thing. Okay. Could have sworn I called it Ringmon for a second there. Right. So again, if the player is attacking, we know it's the enemy. So the player team goes into the bottom because that's our defeated team. Find your enemy team and compile. And then we're going to test it again. I did compile it, didn't I? Okay, we'll test it again, see what happens. This time I'm going to take a Charmander. Why? I don't know. Just fun, right? And then we're going to run into here. We spawn in a Bulba. And then we're going to do Scratch. And one final Scratch, and it should end the battle now. Bulbasaur was defeated, despawns them, and we go back to the world. There we go. That's really good. And yeah, you can then go and do another battle and keep battling and keep battling and keep battling. I don't know what happened with that bug. That's the second time we've seen that, so I'm going to keep an eye out on that and see if I can figure out what was going on there, why they get into this accuracy loop where it doesn't figure out that they can attack. That's a bit of a weird bug, but other than that, you can battle, you can start, defeating Pokemon, which is great. We just need to do the XP code. That is a very hefty segment of code, so I might cover something different for now. I'm not sure, but who knows, right? It might be nice just to finish it off, I guess, and you can start leveling up your Pokemon and getting them new moves. But for now, I'm going to decide what to do next. But that's Ringmon Defeated in a nutshell. Hopefully you found this really, really useful. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.